is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. As always, I am Camtastic, and this is In Response, where every other week, 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 0 friends gather around their desks to update you about the ongoings in the CDH world and our personal journeys throughout the format. Joining me this week, we have the usual Nico, aka Mexer Delight. How are you doing, Nico?
Pretty good, man. It's been a busy couple weeks, and I'm ready to just focus on some magic stuff.
Hell yeah, brother. And joining me this week, also as per usual, is Julian the Magician MTG. How's it going, Magician?
Great. Had a great weekend at Fishbowl. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit, but that was an awesome experience. So, but I'm also excited to talk to our very special guest. So we can let him introduce himself.
Oh yeah. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, of course. I'm Doot or Jack. Either one is fine. I think I met Cam here. I want to say at like MagicCon Vegas and through Tim Gold Sabertooth. I run a CEDH focused marketplace Discord called Doot Loot. You can find that at discord.gg/dootloot. And I specialize in like non-English foils, like Japanese and Russian stuff, signed and altered cards, and just other sweet ways to bling out your deck.
Sweet.
Yeah. You also have a tournament coming up.
Yeah, we're really excited. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm in California, and it's hard to have. For whatever reason, it's hard to have tournaments out here. I mean, I think it's just the cost to like rent space or whatnot.
We're gonna have some good conversation here.
Good.
Yeah. We're actually, I plan on attending your tournament, so I'm excited for that because we are based in California as well.
Yeah, we're all in Fresno, Clovis area.
No way. Okay.
Yep. Right down the road.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So to speak.
we're that'll be sweet, man. We are also working on. I can't drop all the deets yet, but I am trying to hold like a 100 to maybe 180 person event at the beginning of next year.
That would be great.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm working with another buddy of mine who's EOing's just kind of been his like side project. And we want a strong scene out here. There's a lot of good players, and so we're just kind of trying to make that push,
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, we're with you on that. There are so many good players out here in California, North, South, and Central. Is your tournament going to be, I know you said you can't give too many deets, but do you plan on having it being part of the California circuit?
Yeah, I haven't reached out to any of them yet. I'm sure they'll be willing to have it be a part of things. I know a couple of folks that are pretty involved in that. So I'm totally open to that. We're still trying to look at a venue. We're between like 2 different spots at the moment. But as soon as we have that sorted, then yeah, I see no reason why not to.
Awesome. Exciting stuff. That's really cool. I look forward to hearing about that in the future. And like you said, we've noticed it's been difficult to gather people from California. The state's so big, Bay Area people got to drive 6 to 8 hours to get to Fishbowl, and people from Fishbowl got to drive the same distance to get to tournaments up in the Bay. And so we'll touch more on that later because we're actually getting a tournament together to kind of join North and South. So
that's awesome.
Definitely. Hey everyone, this is Mexi Delight with a quick shout out to the community about an upcoming CDH tournament, the California 99. Check out the details on screen and register now on topdeck.gg while I quickly share some of the details and highlights. The California 99 will be on Saturday, December 6th at Clovis Cards and Comics in Clovis, California. The event is aiming to be a silver tier event on topdeck.gg and will also be part of the California CDH circuit. Check-in is 10 a.m. and is 100% proxy friendly. Proxies must be uniform and preferably with MTG art. No written on cards will be allowed. The event will be 5 rounds of Swiss with a cut to top 10. The $1,500 plus prize pool will be point-based and is consisting of over 20 CDH staples. Point spread will be based on attendance. Prizing will go to top 8, and points will be exchangeable for store credit. The first 50 registered are going to be locked into the event. The In Response crew is working with Clovis Cards and Comics to make this a quarterly tournament, and we hope to build a bridge between the communities in the greater LA area, the Bay Area, and the Central Valley. So we hope to see you there. Come check us out, make some new friends, and of course, play some CDH. And now back to the show. So to get us started, though, why don't you tell us your like origin story of getting into Magic? Like, how'd you find out about it? Where in life were you? Did you jump right into CDH or casual, Commander, 60 card?
Yeah. So I was always like a fan of trading cards growing up. I was actually like a big player or big like Yu-Gi-Oh player. Um, that was kind of my like childhood obsession. So that
Same
carried
here.
over. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
me too.
Like honestly, you can't beat like early 2000s Yu-Gi-Oh. Just iconic cards. Best. I'll die on this hill. Best like trading card or game like adjacent TV show ever. Just excellent. I think Yu-Gi-Oh beats the Pokemon TV show every day of the week.
The cartoon show, the original one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the anime was sick. It was so
I'm
much
kind of
more
with you on
intense.
that.
It was
Yeah.
so good.
As a huge Pokemon fan, I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean there's something about Duelist Kingdom that was just like so good. And
I
Yes.
I'll tell you, in
Yeah.
my adult life, I have gone back and rewatched season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! And never have gone back to watch Pokemon again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good
No,
point.
I've done more rewatches of that show than I kind of care to admit on air. But yeah, so I was a big Yu-Gi-Oh player. And then, towards the end of high school, I was like, oh man, like gotta gotta quit playing card games, quit being a nerd. And so I like stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh. But during that time, a lot of my close friends were getting into Magic, and being a Yu-Gi-Oh player, I was like, oh man, this game sucks. Like it's not, you know, it's not Yu-Gi-Oh, and so I'd always like shit on it, but I'd never actually try it. And it wasn't until what was it? Like November of 2020, when we were locked down with COVID, that my brother came home one day with a commander deck. He was like, "Dude, I don't care, just try it." And he
Nice.
brought home the AC Commander Legends commander deck.
Oh, that's a
Sick.
good one.
That's
Yeah.
a good
Oh
one to
yeah,
start with. Yeah.
yeah, and that deck was so cracked, and it was like we sat down. Gosh, I want to say it was like we sat down for like 11 hours and just played 1v1 commander, and it was like,
Damn.
yeah, it was like being a kid again playing Yu-Gi-Oh on the floor with him. So it was definitely brought back some nostalgia, but it was also, it's like that feeling of like when you're getting into like a new video game or something where you like there's so much to learn and you're so new, and it's like it's just a like almost like all encompassing where you're just like, I need to learn, I need to play. So that kind of led into a small obsession with the game. And then I got some of my friends from high school back into Magic. And so we basically just played like low power, casual kind of clunky decks for
Like kitchen
about a
table
year.
magic.
Yeah, exactly. And
Classic.
yeah, and it was like that was fun. And then like the arms race started happening where like
Yes.
it was like I'll still like never forget it. Like I
Yeah, how'd that
was,
start?
dude, oh my god. It was one of our close friends owned a game store in the North Bay, and he's been playing Magic forever. And so he was like, "Hey, if you want, like come down to the store and we'll build you a deck out of just like bulk he had." And so we built a Rakdos Lord of Riots deck for me. And I remember like, I'm sure most people know, right? But Rakdos is whenever an opponent loses life on your turn, your like spells cost that generic less
Yeah,
to
he was like
cast.
red, black for like a
Yeah,
6/6.
yeah, I think 6/6 or 6/4. He has like flying and trample or something. It's a
Yeah.
ridiculous card.
Yeah, it's fun.
but you can only cast him if someone has lost life that turn, I think. Um, so there is like some restriction there. But so
Yeah, I
basically,
got
I
him.
was like,
I got him. I got him right here. Rakdos, Lord of Rides, 2 black, 2 red. Can't cast this spell unless an opponent lost life this turn. Flying Trample 6/6. Creature spells you cast cost 1 generic less to cast for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Sick
yeah,
nasty.
it's it's crazy. And so like as a new player playing casual, your first thought is like, well, what can I cheat in with this? And so everyone was playing Eldrazi's, but my deck was built out of bunch of draft chaff. So it was like instead of having like a Kozilek or an Ulamog, I had like Pathrazor of Ulamog or something, right? So like all these like objectively worse cards. And so I was playing that for like 3 or 4 weeks, and then by that time it was about Christmas time, and my brother's like, hey, like why don't you, he's like, why don't you find a card and I'll buy it for you? And coming from Yu-Gi-Oh, cards are like pennies, right? They're dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Sure.
Especially when they
And
reprint everything in common.
yeah, exactly, right? So it's like once a year they'll take the best decks and just print them into the dirt. And
Yep.
so I remember I was like, this is insane. Like who's paying $35 for a Magic card?
My
Like,
immediate thought when you say that is, what's the budget here for this card or
well,
cards? Yeah.
yeah, I know. And so I was like, this is nuts. Like you guys are crazy. Who's paying like $50 for an Emrakul or like $40 for a Kozilek? And like it was insane to me. I didn't understand it. And so as like a Christmas present, my brother got me an Ulamog, and that just kind of started things. And then like I remember Kaldheim was coming out, and like my family's Norwegian, and so like I'm super into like a
Oh,
lot of the Nordic
cool.
stuff. And
Sure.
so
Yeah.
um I decided like I was gonna build Vorinclex as like my first deck to actually try to make something, a little stronger. And I remember like my wife, girlfriend at the time, I remember she was over and she was asleep. And at like 2 in the morning, I was on my computer checking out on DCG with like an $800 cart, and we were like broke ass college kids, but I had the stimulus check, and
Oh,
yeah, and so
Yeah.
I'm sitting there just like praying, like don't wake up, don't wake up, don't wake up.
don't see, don't see,
Um,
don't see.
yeah, and so that was kind of where it started. And then all of a sudden it's like decks getting stronger, and then uh the deck that really like pushed it over the edge for me was Tevesh Thrasios.
Oh.
Um
Hell
uh,
yeah.
How
That's
about
my dude.
that?
Another
yeah, so
sushi enjoyer.
that
How
was like
about that?
my jam.
That,
I
that is
absolutely
currently my jam, my jelly, my peanut butter. That is what
oh
I'm doing.
yeah, no, that was like my all-time favorite brew. And it was, I was playing like really shitty version of it because we were still playing casual. And then that deck like slowly ramped up over time.
Mhm.
And I remember that was the deck that I really started spending money on. And like I was like, okay, like I had to get a Gaia's Cradle. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a Judge Gaia's Cradle. And then was like, okay, well, I need, Seedborn Muse is good. All right, I'm gonna get the Legion's foil, and like
Yeah.
it was just slowly, 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 and then
So do you have a
um,
Judge Cradle?
I did. I sold it in March to pay for my wife's wedding ring. So
Wow. All right, that's
Good
quite
that
the
man.
was
investment then.
Money well
That
Good
yeah,
spent.
paid off.
man. Yeah.
exactly. So that was well worth the money.
I
Hell of
hope
an
she knows how
investment.
much of a I know I hope she knows how much of a keeper you are for
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's I don't know. I think I'm the winner on that deal. And green sucks anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, right. Guy's
Oh,
Cradle's not even a good card. What?
that makes me
Yeah,
sad.
dude, you can't play it in Rog side. Car's dog shit.
Yeah.
But so basically, like it just like really started snowballing from there, and then um, yeah, I what was funny is that deck is also what got me into non-English cards, because I got to a point where it was like, okay, well, like this deck is like at its like max max like bling or whatever, max rarity, and then I still wanted to like tinker with it. Uh, and so that was kind of an area that I felt like I could kind of do more with. Um, and then also, funny enough, because of how like COVID inflated the prices of Magic cards,
Yeah.
I started seeing it's like, ah, shit. Uh, the deck that was $20,000 is now like $14,000, right? And so I'm panicking because I'm like, that's the Magic player cope of like, oh, my cards are still worth money.
Mm.
And all of a sudden, these cards that I put a lot of money into started tanking in value, and I started getting into the non-English stuff. At first, through like the Strixhaven Mystical Archives, I liked a lot.
Yeah,
But
those are
then,
there's some pretty cool printings.
oh, they're so good. And
Those are mainstream too.
yeah, those were mainstream too. Yeah. And it was those. And then um, as a kid, I had like Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh cards because like they had the
Yeah.
different frames because they looked sick.
Yeah, they did. I
And
remember that.
yeah, they were so cool. And so I started getting into that. And then it was something I kind of like realized of over time. The non-English versions of cards, when a reprint would come, like if you had like I don't know, the Japanese foil Seedborn Muse, if that card gets reprinted like in the secret layer, it was a bonus card, right?
Hmm.
Um, the Japanese Legion's foil is inherently more scarce, and it would retain its value better than the English would. And so it was kind of this weird, almost like, hey, it's a safer way to keep my money in cards. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, and so they like stabilize or like they hold their value better, but they're a lot more like illiquid, right? Because they're harder to move.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
card shops we've noticed, like at least locally, they don't deal in a lot of foreign cards because they just feel that they don't move as often. But I feel like
yeah,
on
they
an
won't
open
take them.
market, like on an open market, like what you're doing, or like card market or TCG player, like
Hmm.
you see them move.
Yeah,
I'm curious. So, like, I don't know if you guys are aware of the website MTG Stocks. Not everybody knows about that.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just haven't been
Okay.
on it in a while.
So, like, I just pulled it up here because I don't know if it has foreign stuff on here. Is there, like, data to back up the financial statements there? I'm just curious. Not to,
yeah,
like, call you out or put you on the spot, but you just have me thinking about it now.
yeah. So I mean, MTG stocks is not like, I mean, they're just any of the mainstream places are gonna have only English typically.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
so there are like, as you mentioned, there's card market. Card market's a very good standard for checking out mainly like German, Italian, Spanish,
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
okay.
And also, I just want to say while I'm saying this stuff, I do have to preface when I'm saying non-English, I don't mean like Spanish, Italian, all that crap. I'm specifically talking about like there are like premium languages. So like Japanese is a lot of the older
Sure.
stuff is like more premium. Some of the newer stuff it's like not, but that's whatever. Korean's rare, Russian's rare. Some sets like the traditional Chinese or like simplified Chinese are rare. There are very few sets that other languages have a premium over English, besides those few. So if you have like a Spanish foil farewell, right? That's adios.
Mhm.
So that one has a premium. But if you have like a
Right.
Spanish foil noxious revival, that's not going to be more than English typically because people
Right.
aren't wanting it for like the meme. Um,
Yeah. Or like the German Huntmaster of the Fells, which is Jägermeister.
yeah, yeah. There's also there's like a new comball. God, what is it?
The Profiteering Mare.
Yeah, like
What is
comball
that?
like
Is that
Burgermeister.
Adios card like actually real? I've seen pictures of that, but I always thought it was just a joke, like some,
Yeah,
just
that's Spanish farewell. The six
okay.
mana sorcery from
But I
Neon
didn't think
Dynasty.
they printed cards in Spanish. I thought it was just Portuguese. So now you got me really confused because I
No,
thought
they
I
they print
knew one thing,
cards
but
in.
Yeah, I have a Spanish
Uh,
offer you can't refuse.
Huh. Okay.
yeah, so
I guess I'm not up
there's
to speed with all the languages that are in print.
yeah, so up until recently, there were a lot of languages. They cut Russian, they cut Korean, they cut Chinese. I believe both simplified and traditional. I think traditional was cut after MH, or I think traditional was cut after like New Capenna, and then I think they cut simplified Chinese after Modern Horizons 3.
Hmm.
Oh,
But there's like French, German, Portuguese,
Italian.
Spanish, Italian. Yeah.
So yeah, I knew a lot of that. Here's where I got the confusion from, and this is going to
Mhm.
be fun. My mom is going to love this. So my mom and dad live in Mexico. My dad's from
Mhm.
Mexico. They are retired. They've been living down there for like 8 or 9 years or more now. And
Mhm.
so I got into Magic way back when I was like in fifth grade, going into sixth grade in
Mhm.
1998. Okay, so a little while ago. And I
Mhm.
got back into Magic then, similar to you in 2020. So my parents loved that. They thought it was fun. And my mom is kind of like living vicariously through me. And literally just last week, she messaged me and said, "Hey, I just popped into a game store down here in the city. And there's like a bunch of people here playing, but all the cards are in English. Why is that?" She's like, "Why are there no Spanish cards?" So like, yeah, now you're saying that there's cards in Spanish, but she was literally down in like Guadalajara in some
Mhm.
store and like everybody's playing in English.
Yeah. So I think that's it's kind of a funny thing. I don't totally remember because Wizards just recently also axed a couple more languages. I believe Portuguese got axed. Um, and some of the most recent sets, they just did another like culling of languages. But yeah, in some countries they still use English as like the primary uh, language card. Um, Sometimes that can happen just because of like distribution. Like if you look at like Brazil typically has a hard time getting like product. They have very high import, and so like the price of a draft box can be like $200 or $300 in their like local currency. Um, so a lot of times you'll have people in those like small areas not be able to get product in the language of the region just because of like distribution pricing shit. It's the same thing with Korea. Like that's why like the old sets, like stuff like Urza Saga, and even like what shit like Weather Lights. Uh, Yeah, Weatherlight, because
Yeah, the
like
book.
Korean Doomsdays are like $500 or $400
Damn.
from Weatherlight, and it's because like back in those times in Korea, they had a very small print run, and the majority of people there already spoke English, and because English was the highest printed, it was cheaper for people to get, and so you'd have shops in Korea not be able to get product in Korean. Um, so
Interesting.
I think it's just like a distribution thing, yeah, mainly.
Yeah, I
Okay.
noticed that a couple shops that I visited in Germany, they were playing with English cards too,
Mhm.
and they do have their German cards as well. But it's similar to how in America we look at foreign cards as being more premium,
Mhm.
whereas other countries look at English cards as a premium, and
Yeah.
so it's a way to bling out from a foreign country to English as we are to bling out in the foreign language.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. And it's like so especially in Europe, right? Because they have Card Market, and Card Market is such a like for those who aren't aware of Card Market, it's basically like a large like aggregate site, kind of like TCG Player, um, where they're connecting so many different countries. So you have a very large supply of sellers everywhere. Um, so you can get cards straight from, you can get Spanish cards from Spain. You can go get German cards from Germany, right? Like because
Makes
of
sense.
of how easy everything is over in Europe to like get access to those
Yeah.
things have like are typically a lot cheaper. And because you get to those other languages that like quote unquote like aren't premium, like Italian and French and Portuguese and Spanish and to an extent German. Although German has some outliers that are very expensive. You know, as you have those in your supply that more people don't want, then they become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Um, and so like the card market YouTube channel actually has had a couple guests on who like you guys know like Andrea Mengucci? He's
Yeah.
a huge
Of
60
him,
card
yeah.
player. Um like on a lot of his gameplay videos that he does on his channel, he'll have like a deck partially in English, but then he'll have like Italian flooded strands or something because at the time they were cheap for him, and the English one was expensive. So
Mhm.
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
I was doing that for a while where I would look up Commander staples in Japanese on TCG Player because Commander
hmm
didn't used to be as popular overseas
yeah,
as it did over here. So I would get like when Sword of Fire and Ice was like $60, I got one for like $15. Like any Commander
yeah,
staples, they would be like super cheap in Japanese because they didn't play Commander as much. But now they're playing Commander much
hmm
more, so that's much more of a scarcity. But
yeah,
it's interesting the volatility of foreign languages and the cards in them.
Mhm.
yeah, and it's also like it's just crazy too because honestly, with some of the stuff, like it's it almost like doesn't make sense, like the pricing of some things. But then like I have a good friend who's really, really into Russian stuff. Like he's like probably the most connected guy in the US when it comes to like Russian shit, Keith. And he he'll say to me, like, someone will have a card that I want, and I'll be like, oh, what's the price for this? And he's like, $50 to $500. It's like, how bad do you want it? And how bad do they want to sell it? Because there are cards where it's like I just I collect Russian foil Shadowmoor, um, and I'm trying to complete that set, and I'm like 25 cards from being done.
Wow,
Um,
that's impressive.
and yeah, like some of them are a doozy though. But like
What are you
I
missing?
just I'm missing the biggest ones are like Twilight Shepherd. Um, that's the 6-drop angel. Wart the Raid Mother.
Oh yeah,
Um, that one took
Or-
my buddy 9 years to find his copy.
Wow.
Uh, Risk the Redeemed. That
Uh-huh.
one also took him like 5 or 6 years, and he just paid $1,200 for his. Um, like,
damn.
and then Reaper King. Reaper King being the biggest, of course, but
Oh yeah.
like
Oh, sure.
it's just like it's so cooked. You'll have like random cards that are expensive as hell. Like I just lost an auction for a Dawn Glow Infusion, like an unplayable or uncommon in Russian foil. And my max bid was $150, and I got smoked. Like,
Wow.
and so that is kind of the weird part about when you get to like the really niche stuff. Like that's the more like the Russian foils, some of the older Japanese foils, but for the most part, like because of like legacy players are huge, or like there's a huge group of Japanese foil collectors in legacy. So there is still some supply of these like old rare cards, but like
Mhm.
the Russian shit, like that's when like prices are just honestly kind of like it's really like what do you want to pay, or what does this
Hmm.
person want to get to not have it in their
Yeah.
binder anymore.
Yeah.
um yeah, it's
Interesting.
it's it's crazy, and I've paid I've paid amounts of money that are embarrassing for cards that are unplayable.
Unplayable commons. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely a weird market. But there's going to be some guy out there that's trying to collect a global set of
You find the right person. Yeah.
yeah, so you just it is a weird market. So I always tell people like I'm sure you guys know the Timcos, Wizards and Warlocks.
Yes.
I've heard of
Mhm.
them.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Um, like I was telling Cole, I was like, dude, because he's starting to get into Russian foils. I'm like, dude, like you gotta understand, like some of this market is just bonkers. And you have to accept that,
So are you like exclusively in non-English now? Or do you like still have some English stuff? Or, I mean, where do you draw the line?
Yeah, I think like for like my own personal collection, like for CEDH, because I am still like that's my main format.
Sure.
For CEDH, it's all either Japanese or Russian foil, and then and then like alters and sign cards. So like
Okay.
if um like if there's a sweet altered card but it's in English, it's like okay, whatever, like it's still cool enough to me, I'll buy it
Yeah.
if I like it. But for the most part, like if there's a new set coming out, like yeah, I'm only buying the Japanese foils. And if it's 60 card, because I do play like vintage and legacy, it's all Japanese non-foil signed. That's like my
Okay.
my
Nice.
standard.
What
Yeah.
are you playing in Legacy?
Doomsday.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
I've got ninjas.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, it's Legacy is sweet. I have Doomsday and Legacy, and then I have I play Doomsday and Legacy and Vintage.
Nice.
Um and then I play Goryo's in Modern, but I don't play Modern too much anymore. Not
Yeah,
enough
I just
time.
got out of Modern myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
What's 60 card?
yeah, right. I've seen
Your EDH deck's missing about 40 cards.
Right.
real.
I've seen a lot of the stuff that's gone into your Rockside deck, and it is quite impressive.
Yeah, it's been a labor of love, man. I used to when we were at like the peak of our arms race, at like high power before I made the full jump into CDH about 2 years ago. I had like 20 decks.
Damn.
And it's like because I'm 26. At the time, it was like post COVID. I had just gotten my first like big boy job, and I was living at home. Um, and so it was just like, okay, all the disposable money went into cards.
Yeah.
And so basically, like my two decks left are Rogsai and Dahada, and those decks have basically absorbed all of the whatever was in those 20 decks got condensed into those
Mhm.
two decks basically. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm working with I think I'm gonna do a video with Eisenherz sometime in December to go through the deck. Because I'm still waiting on
Cool.
some pieces to come back, but it's
Nice.
I
always
love
it's always fun
Eisenherz.
seeing. Oh yeah, no, he's Engen's a great guy.
Yeah, we were very active together in the Omnat Discord when he was off Urza for a bit. He's
Oh
he's very
hell yeah,
knowledgeable.
yeah, big 4-color Omnath enjoyer over here. I love that
Same.
deck.
It was
Same.
fun.
That's what I was playing in Modern before the One Ring got banned.
Oh no, were you playing the 80 card money pile?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
So I just sold my Italian promo Omnat this past weekend.
Damn. The
Yeah.
borderless one?
Yep, the
The
borderless
Texas,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, Texas one.
Yeah. I had a Japanese one that I bought at like the peak of Omnat's popularity for like $250. And I sold it to my buddy Alex last like 2 weeks ago for like $75. So that
Oh.
one didn't stand the test of time, but that was
Yeah.
my mistake.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious, you kind of told us, how you got into the foreign or non-English stuff. But how'd you get like your market going? And obviously don't need to tell us all the details, but I'm
Yeah.
curious, how does that begin? You got to get a network, meet people. You've got a good Discord going. Yeah, how's that get? Tell us some stories there.
Yeah. I mean, basically I think it was about last year. maybe like a year and a half. Sorry, about 2 years ago, 2 to 2.5 years ago, I've just been like selling in Discords, like a virtual backpacker, if you would.
Okay.
Cool.
Like basically, as a side effect of having as many decks as I had, I was constantly taking some apart, and so I was like, well, I always felt like I didn't have an LGS that would take singles, so I couldn't just bring my cards in and be like, "Here, buy this crap."
Yeah.
Um, so I had to like make my own sales channels. So I started on like Facebook, and Discord. And it's funny, like the first Discord that I actually was routinely posting in was the Play to Win Discord.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah, they have like a really awesome community, of course. And I'm a huge fan of their work. I watch their stuff every week.
Same.
Um, yeah, and so they have like a trades channel, and so basically, whenever I'd take a deck apart, um, it'd go there, and so I kind of slowly started building up like a client list of just like people that I knew that would want weird stuff. Um,
Mhm.
like I was taking apart like full Russian foil Zada Hedron grinder, right? And that card is filled, or that deck is filled with 50 cards that do nothing, right? And
Yeah.
so like I would start realizing like, oh, like this guy likes this stuff, this guy likes this stuff. And so I just kind of like slowly started building that up. And and then last year, I basically sold my entire my entire collection outside of those two decks and like one binder. And that was just like somewhat out of necessity, but also just like I was tired of carry. I mean, like I know I'm sure you guys get it. Like you move and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have all these boxes and I have all this
Yeah.
crap. And I was just like, I was done. Um, so I sold basically the rest of my decks and my binder, and then like all my boxes of bulk rares and all that shit. And then I started having people hit me up and be like, hey, like, do you have stuff? Do you have stuff? Do you have stuff? And people were so thrilled to be able to, have someone they could buy stuff from that wasn't
Yeah.
just random guy on TCG player who
Yeah.
sent you, bad condition
Much
cards.
more of a personal touch involved.
Yeah, exactly. And so that kind of helped build that community. And then basically, I had a non-English marketplace Discord for where people could sell, cards, but I kept it small because I wanted to have a trusted community. Because unfortunately, there are bad actors, especially in the card selling world. Um,
Yeah.
and then I realized I was like, well, I'm the only one posting in here. Um, and I was like, why, like,
Mm.
why would I, spend the time and effort to open up this place that, at the end of the day, if someone buys something, in this Discord and it wasn't from me and something goes wrong, they're going to turn to me, you know?
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, dude, I got scammed by this guy in your Discord. And unfortunately, there was a huge string of people doing that in like the Magic Marketplace Discord. Um, and I just saw it was like such a headache. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'll just make my own thing. And so like the at the end of I think it was like May 28th of this year, I just I went into my Discord DMs and I searched my PayPal address so I could pull every person that I had sent my PayPal address to.
Smart.
I just sent them a
Nice.
message
Yeah.
and it was like 40 people. Made a little server, and then it's been it's been a crazy about 4 months, 5 months. And people have been receiving things well, and it's been a really awesome community. But yeah, people are sticking with me for whatever reason. Um,
You have
You have
and
a
beautiful cards,
you have a great
so
well,
reputation, man. People love your server. They love flashing your tag on their names in Discord, like, oh, Doot Loot. in other servers, I see people posting in the Bling chats whenever they get the cool tokens from you, and they get, oh, Doot loot's arrived, Doot loot's arrived, and it's ubiquitous across all these CDH servers. So you're doing something right, man. It's when I got my Doot loot package last week, I was excited and I wanted to post it right away. So
Yeah, I do. I really appreciate that. It's kind of surreal. Like it seemed like it was just like the right place at the right time. I this like whole idea of like, and even the name itself, like Doot Loot, came from I don't know how long you guys have been, in CADH, but did you ever know the podcast Cedh?
Yeah.
Yes. So the Sadnaz guys, that's like Adam and all those guys out in Milwaukee. They had a Discord. I listened, I was a big fan of their stuff for a while, and then we became friends. And that was during that time where I was living at home, and I just had, I was a kid who just got out of college, so I had all this disposable income, so I was buying a bunch of stuff. And one of the co-hosts, Kian, um, he would always just be like, dude, like post your stuff, post your stuff. And so he actually made me a channel in their Discord, and this was 2 or 3 years ago, 3 years ago, called Doot's Loot, where I could post my daily mail days. And so, and unfortunately, about 2 years ago, Kian passed away, and so
sorry to hear that. That's
when I
rough.
was, yeah, it really shook our community. And so when I was thinking of doing this, in my mind there was no other name that it could be.
Right. Yeah.
And I was out at the Mana Vault. That's Adams from originally from Sadnos. That's his LGS now. I was out there last weekend instead of Fishbowl, because we were doing the Kian Memorial Tournament. And so yeah, that was like, it just, I guess, slight tangent, but going from being in their Discord and posting my mail days and seeing people react to that, that was the experience I want to give to people. And that's why, like, whenever people buy stuff, it goes in a channel in my server that people can see what other people are buying.
Mm.
And they get tagged, because I remember I'd buy stuff and I could not wait because I'd just be so excited to show people. And
Oh yeah.
like, I want to gas people up. It doesn't matter if you buy a $5 card or you buy a $5,000 card. Like, it's you're excited. It's something to
Yeah.
like look
It's
forward
special
to.
to you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
And
we have
and
a Cosmic MTG in chat. Just kind of echoes what you said. They said, Doot single-handedly brings the Bling community together. Being a part of multiple discords for LGSs in the Midwest and seeing all of them ping weekly messages about cards from Doot arriving is insane.
yeah,
There you go,
it's
man.
well, thank you. That Yeah, I gotta tell you, it's weird to hear that. It's I mean, it's amazing to hear that, but it's just like it feels very surreal. Because this was just like a small thing that I had like cooking up in my head. So it's awesome to see people excited, and it means the world, because that's why I want to give people like the free treasures and the tokens, and that's why like I tried to invest into like nice packaging and stuff, because I want people to just be stoked when they get shit in the mail.
yeah,
And
like Christmas.
it,
Whatever you want.
absolutely, yeah. And it's like, I get it. I won't. I can't lie. I'm sure there was a long period of time where you know you buy things because it makes you feel happy for a little bit. Like, that is unfortunately part of it. But I think it's important to have something to look forward to.
Definitely.
And it just,
Yeah.
yeah, it means the world to hear that people are excited about it. It really, like, it separates it from, like, when people message me and say, "Oh my god, dude, the cards came in safe. Thank you so much." Like, it actually it reminds me, and it makes me feel like this isn't just a business. Like I don't feel like I'm just like waking up and like slogging away at work. Like
Yeah,
I told my wife today, we were driving home, and I was like, I am so excited for this career path. And people are so excited, to be a part of things, and it's just awesome. So I'm immensely grateful for the feedback, and for the community rallying behind this, and enjoying it too.
Are you
And
sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, dude, chat's popping off, dude. Copy TFT says can't confirm as well. A bunch of my friends have joined the server for my tag based in South Dakota. So
Yeah.
chat's popping off, dude. They love you. They love everything that you've done and the community you've created. So awesome.
Yeah,
I would
thank you. Yeah, huge shout out to Copied. Copied was one of my OG boys. And there's a couple more people that Copy's been supporting me since I was at 40 people. Um,
Nice.
absolute
Nice.
absolute goat,
That's
and
awesome.
it's just, yeah, it just means so much. And I know that's kind of part of the community aspect of, like, I could have just opened a store on TCG Player. I could have just made a web store, and it'd be a lot less work for me. But like, I want to talk to people. I want
yeah.
to, if someone's sending me a list of cards they want to buy, I want to see their Moxfield page. I want to see what it's going in. I want to see
Yeah,
photos of their deck. Like,
you want to
I
have a
just
more
I love
personal
that.
touch.
Absolutely. And it's
It's the player in
it's
you.
authentic. I want it, exactly. It's the player in me. I'm a player first. I'm a business second.
So you got me wondering, yeah, like how often do you get a chance to play? Do you have do you go to, I forget how you said it, Merlion? Is that your
Yeah,
LGS?
Merline. I used to go to Card Art a lot. That was in Sunnyvale. And but unfortunately, the day that they play Tuesdays, it's just too swamped. So I don't make it out in person to our weeklies too much. But I play Spell Table, gosh, probably 2 days out of the week. So I'm probably getting at
Nice.
least like 6 to 8 games in a week. And
Sweet.
when I
Oh yeah.
can go to tournaments, I do. I love playing tournaments. So
Um,
Nice.
so I got a question about your projected growth. Are you wanting to potentially get like for MagicCon like Vegas? Maybe not this year, but next year. Are you looking at maybe having enough inventory to be able to have like a booth or like travel to places and have a couple tables and stuff? Or are you wanting to still just stay on Discord?
yeah. So I'm actually this weekend I'm going to be going to MXP Tacoma, um, because my friends over at Merline Games, they have a booth up there. And so Saturday and Sunday I'll be buying for them. I'll also have like limited inventory there. And then next year, um, I am going to be vending a tournament out of Minneapolis. There's a big tournament that's Guy Andrews trying to organize. So I've locked in for a large booth with them. I don't think MagicCon is something that I could see myself doing in the immediate future. But I would love to be at Top Deck events. I would love to be at larger CDH events. You guys, this is my community. I don't. I'd love to be able to say yes, I can go to a MagicCon and do that. I've personally worked MagicCons. It's a lot. It's crazy. I can't imagine being the guy with the booth there though.
When you say worked MagicCon, what do you mean? Like a staff member of the convention center or something? Or
No, no, I do some work with Tim Gold Sabertooth.
oh, okay,
So I help him at his booth, and yeah,
Cool.
so just like
I gotcha.
selling stuff there. And then I'm probably doing some work with the Mana Vault, doing some buying at like SCG and Magicons in the future. So just behind the booth setting, and it's crazy, man. I can't imagine having to organize all of that, and like they don't even like provide you tables. Like you have to bring everything.
Everything.
So I as much as I love your enthusiasm, I would love to do that. I don't think it's anytime soon. But I'm just one guy out of my room right now. So but larger tournaments next year, I'd absolutely be interested.
Well, maybe we can get you down here for something.
Yeah. I'm interested, man. This is the year of saying yes, man. So I'm happy to take any chances.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Exciting stuff is brewing all around California right now, it sounds like.
Absolutely. As we alluded to earlier, we're doing an in response tournament on December 6th here in Fresno, Clovis area. We're locking down a location, like how you mentioned with your January one. It's that's what it's all about, right? It's a play space.
Yeah.
But doing what you're talking about, bringing the community together, trying to connect North and Southern California, because like you mentioned earlier, it's really hard to get tournaments going. It's a large state, but there's a lot of very skilled players here and a lot of people who really want to play.
I don't know, man. California's tricky. It's so expensive out here that and most LGSs aren't big enough to accommodate massive events. But I'd love to chat with you guys more and figure out how I can help promote your guys' event, because I want to see California's tournament scene succeed. If we could have even a fraction of what the guys in Ohio or Colorado have, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
vice versa,
seriously.
man. We want to help you. Like Cam was saying, like we want to be like Fresno. We want to be the bridge, but we also want to be able to support both North and South. Tournaments and creators and sellers and stuff like that. So let us know how we can help. I know Cam said he's probably going to be going up there. He's probably going to be taking a car full of guys, and so we're excited for the California circuit. And just let us know.
Yeah, we've got at
absolutely.
least 4 guys confirmed coming up, potentially 5, but we got at least 4 guys coming up to your tournament, so we're excited for that.
Hoping to be one of those as well.
It's filling fast too. I think people are they're hungering for a NorCal event. So I'm really excited to see you guys out there though. It'll be hopefully be a really good day.
Yeah, especially after Fishbowl, people chomping at the bits.
Well, and I wasn't at Fishbowl, but I play Tim Nadargo right now, so I'm excited that there's hype on that. And I looked at Sylvie's list, and I'm like, okay, there's definitely some improvements I can make on mine.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but hey, that's also the double-edged sword, right? Someone gets to point to you and go, "That list just won Fishbowl. Kill him.
Yeah,
He's the problem."
So, Doot, remind me, what decks do you play right now? You said you got a couple key CDH decks or core ones that you keep.
Yeah, I play my main deck is Rogsai, and then I play Dahada as well.
Okay. We don't have Rogsai around here, do we?
We got one guy.
Yeah, people play around with it. Like it's a very meta dependent deck. Like Rupon's on it sometimes, Zach's on it sometimes, Wes is on it sometimes, but nobody's really like Nathan's on it sometimes, but nobody's really like been a dedicated Rogsai for a little bit. I think everybody's experimenting since Terra's come out and Kefka and Green Goblin, and there's a lot of commanders taking up that space right now.
Are you part of are you and Rupon? Are you guys in the same group?
Yes, yeah. Rupon is. Nice. Oh yeah, Rupon did tell me to tell you hi. By the way, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah, Rupon's part of our Central Valley group, and he travels with us and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, great guy. I fucking hate Kyrita. That deck is miserable. But
it is.
But he's he's a good pilot at it. And it takes people by surprise.
Yeah, I've definitely played against it a couple times. I had a pretty brutal game that went to a draw with him in a recent tournament.
Yeah, uh, that'll happen, man. I mean, I I tell him, you gotta invoke the active player says stop yapping rule with Rupon. Uh,
Yes.
you
Yes.
gotta say, bro, take a game action, let's go.
Yup.
But he's one hell of a player. He's a good dude.
Pink Flounder 99's asking if you have a Russian foil offer you can't refuse.
No, that's Javi. He's one of our locals. He's just fucking with me. That's that's one of those that there's only one. Um, my buddy Keith I was mentioning earlier, he actually is the only owner of it. Basically, Streets of New Capenna was supposed to be the last Russian set, but because of the conflict, Wizards axed Russian for that set.
Makes
Um,
sense.
and so there were only ever like I think 3 or 4 boxes that got out from a factory,
Wow.
and only the contents from 2 of them are like known where they were at, and they got sent to my buddy Keith who purchased them.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and so he has like the Gallagrators.
Ooh, yeah,
He has
that's
the
a cool box.
only offer you can't refuse, which is crazy.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Wizards contacted him and they're like, "Hey, like you can keep the cards, just like where'd you get it?" And it was a whole thing, but
Wild.
yeah. Yeah, I know. So
That's a
that's
story
just
for another time.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's like, I feel like that's more of a one of card forever than the serialized One Ring, right? Like
Absolutely.
they could definitely poop out another One Ring, but they're not going to make another Russian thing like that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like there's like artificial scarcity and then there's like true scarcity, like manufactured scarcity because we said this is serialized and we're only going to do it once, and then like true scarcity, like no,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there's real world implications that are making this scarce.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I kind of preach to people because it's like, you know, I feel like every player's like most Magic players that like get invested and like spend a lot of money, most people have that phase of like, oh, I want the expeditions. This is like the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But you start to realize like, no, a lot of that stuff is just, it's artificial. Um, you want actual rare stuff, like I'll bring it up again, Shadowmoor and Lorwyn. Like that stuff was
Mhm.
printed during the global financial crisis. In Russia, right? So like
Yeah.
there are cards that literally like maybe 4 or 5 copies of exist.
Crazy
Um,
when you put it like that. Yeah. Like, you just, at least I don't think of it that way, but yeah,
yeah,
time and place,
right?
geography, economy, totally.
Like a fucking a progenitus, a Russian foil progenitus. I got offered last year. Uh, a guy wanted it. He offered me $2,300 for it because
Oof.
there's only 2 that have sold in the last like 15 years publicly.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's like that's the kind of stuff where it's like you just it's such a weird market, but you start realizing you're like, I might not see this again. Or like,
Right.
my buddy who got the wart that took him, 6 or 8 years or whatever to find. Like you just sometimes you're like, oh, the next time I see this, I could be 35. I could have a kid, right? And it's like
Oh
kind of
yeah.
the
That's funny you
FOMO, but
say that.
it's wild to think about. And that's why when you see these people who spend the time to like get these pieces for their deck, um it's crazy. And also like that's another big appeal to it for me is like it's the hunt. It's like
Yeah, the thrill of the hunt, baby.
Yeah.
yeah, and like I mean, pardon my language, but like any asshole with money can go buy a deck filled of expeditions and masterpieces and everything. But you can
Right.
be like, this is a deck that I have, I've had to make relationships with people in Russia and Ukraine and Belarus,
Curated,
whatever,
yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
every time you play that deck, you look at your hand and you go, I remembered getting this from this guy. I sent $300 in Bitcoin to some guy for, a Russian foil MBT 3 years ago that I found on like a deleted eBay listing, right? Like I will never forget that.
Wow.
Versus you look and you're like, oh, I bought this off TCG Player. It's the stories that each card carry with them. And I think that's a huge part that like can't be ignored about the collecting part of this hobby.
Yeah.
Great point. Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah.
We got another question, or rather a statement. Bet you don't have a Russian telepathy.
So I feel like this is just Javi's alt because I sold Javi Russian foil telepathy.
It's just his
but-
burner.
Probably.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but it's and also I will say the coolest part about this whole community. I mean, if I can help, okay, Javi's clarifying that wasn't him. If I can like help instill one thing to anyone who's getting into this is that um the people you'll meet are just awesome because you have people inside of a subset, right? So you have nerds, then you have nerds who play Magic, then you have nerds who play EDH, and that's nerds who play CEDH, and that's nerds who collect non-English shit in CEDH, right? You start getting into like all these little layers, and you start realizing like, you have a lot in common with these people. If you have people that are helping you find cards and you help them, like it builds like good relationships. And like to this day, like I have friends that I've met just through helping source each other cards, and they're sometimes they're halfway across the world, and it's just like I'm so thankful for that. This community is super super cool, and it's been really awesome seeing. I feel like there's been a huge wave in CEDH of people like wanting this stuff too. It's
But just make sure if you're playing foreign, you know what it does.
yeah, no, exactly. No,
You gotta have Scryfall handy or the card database or something.
yeah,
know the name of the card. I ran into that too. Someone plays a card and they're like, I don't even know what this does. I'm just paying 1 white for it.
Yeah, so
I
that's
know it does. I don't remember what the name of it is. It's like, oh my god, dude, know your name, know your cards.
quick tangent on that too. If your commander is not in English, present everyone with the Oracle text before the game.
Yeah.
Second point, if you're using non-English cards for a play advantage, you're a dick, right? You're ruining it for everyone. Seriously, you're ruining it for everyone.
Fully agree.
I have my own reasons for why I like non-English cards. None of those reasons involve play advantages. If anything, it's a disadvantage if you're like, oh man, I forgot my PFB had menace. So don't use it to your advantage, and know what your cards do, and just present your opponents with Oracle text. Because I know that came up at a recent tournament with a friend of mine, where an opponent didn't present Oracle text, and it caused a big issue, and they lost a game because of it.
Oh jeez.
And I hate that. I can't like disavow that enough. It just makes a horrible name for the whole community, and that's not the goal.
Flex responsibly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Well, did you guys have any more questions for Doot?
No.
Not
right
I
now.
might be in the market for a Jap foil Oboro Breeze collar.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Looking to do some sort of trading for it.
Yeah, I was in line when Doot got his and Tim signed.
Yeah.
Nice. Is that how you guys met?
I met him at the booth beforehand, but we ran into each other a few times at the con throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys did, because this was a great combo here. Good hang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dewey. We really appreciate you supporting the channel and everything like that. It was a fantastic interview, very enlightening on both ends.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. It was a good time just hanging and chatting. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm like a player and a collector before I'm a business. So I am always down to yap about Magic and CDH and the space. So
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, if that's
All right.
everything, then I guess Doot, we'll see you in a little couple months. And everybody else, well, that's the show. So thanks everybody who joined us here live tonight, especially from the Doot Loot Discord. We appreciate you guys supporting us and supporting Doot. Freaking awesome of you guys. Make sure you guys tune in every other week here live at twitch.tv/camtastic for the live show. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube In Response MTG and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate all you guys' support and thank you so much. And until next time, stay magical.